What's up? Welcome to the fourth episode of the Two Guys One Spread podcast. I am one of your hosts, Joe, and Tom is here with me,
I'm here.
ready to get into the world of sports. All sorts of fun, exciting stuff going on, and we got a little non sports segment too that I think's gonna be fun. So. First topic we're gonna get into today. A couple people have reached out, wanted to hear about it. Was the Four Nations Face-Off hockey tournament? I'm a big hockey guy, coach hockey a lot, and I think it's been awesome. Last night was the opener. Canada won in overtime versus Sweden, and it was pretty electric.
I watch. I'm a novice hockey fan. I'll admit that. I'll tune in to the Sabres. I'm gonna tune in to playoff hockey. If a game's on ESPN, I'll tune in. But international hockey, there's nothing that beats it. And this is taking place instead of the All-Star game. We're getting this Four Nations, and it's real hockey. It's not 17-12 score. Just let the guy go and, do some one-time slap shots and just hope for the best. It was electric in the crowd, and the game was great. It was, as a novice fan, it was a great watch.
It's pretty amazing that they've gone this long. I mean, without it, you've almost forgot what it was like. But like the first two shifts last night, I was
right
like,
away.
I mean, McDavid is just flying all over the place. Crosby's all over. I mean, they scored super early, which got the crowd into it. But I mean, 8 minutes into the game, and I was like, wow, this is just incredible.
Yeah, no, they've been toying with this for a while in the All-Star game by doing four teams and different nations and stuff like that. But this is it was electric out there. And as All-Star games go, I know it's not an All-Star game, but we got to get rid of all All-Star games. So
even MLB, I'll be honest, I enjoy MLB.
MLB
I
is
enjoy
the
the
one
Derby. I enjoy the Derby in the game. The rest of them are garbage.
Right. MLB, yes, it's still a real game, and you got the home run derby, which everybody loves. But I mean, football,
yeah, they're bad.
Hockey was terrible.
Yeah,
basketball's turned into an awful show.
I mean,
no one wants to watch these.
No, the beauty of this is, like you said, it's real hockey, but it's almost like amped up from real hockey because they're playing for their country, right?
You're playing for your country.
Like I've tried to explain to my daughter. I've explained to my daughter about how, like, the owners are probably sitting at home super scared because they're like their star players are on the ice, but from a hockey perspective and a fan perspective and drumming interest in the game, it's like it's great.
Right. The only negative, and there's nothing you can do about this, is you're losing a lot of the star players without Russia being able to play. There's nothing you can do about that, but there's a lot of star Russians playing in the NHL.
There is. I saw what their lineup would have been today, and it was pretty wild. So, couple fun, interesting things about it. I was doing some research about it today. The salaries for the different teams.
Right.
Here, the USA, they have $177 million cap hit. Canada's $174 million, so they're right neck and neck. Sweden is 150 million, and Finland is 107. I mean, that's kind of the odds of winning the tournament, right? Like those are the two favorites, and I think Sweden's pretty close, and I think most people would be pretty surprised if Finland, if Finland won. But I found that to be pretty interesting. With obviously,
you hear the Crosby stat?
No,
about his international play. He's 26-0 in his last 26 international games. Insane. The guy, his passes last night.
Yeah.
2 goals. just unbelievable. The guy
So
still
good.
got it. I'm not
And
a
I think
Crosby guy.
when we were
I
talking
kind of
about
hate
this,
the guy, but the guy's amazing.
yeah,
You can't.
when we were talking about the Sabres, there was that discussion about, I kept talking about youth and experience, right? And I don't think anyone's going to sit there and, when you look at McDavid versus Crosby, right? Like, I think obviously the younger guy is probably a little more skilled at this point, but there is value to experience and, being on the big stage and like he was great. I mean, he is still awesome, and I can't believe Sid the kid is actually
Yeah,
as old as he is, but I mean he's really awesome.
I know. It was good to see him out there and still in the, with the lights on him, still doing his thing.
Yeah, I mean, I find it difficult for me to root for Maple Leafs, even though Matthews is a on USA, and I saw some Canadian post something about how he wanted to puke rooting for Brad Marchand when he scored, but he's like, I guess we have to do it. So,
Right.
yeah, I think it's really awesome. I am super excited for obviously Canada USA. That's always wild.
Right. I mean, NBA's trying this whole early season tournament. It's awful. I know it's not the All Star, but I think this is going to work, and I'll be interested to see how this plays out. I'm interested in it, so, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just a
it's
casual
it's
fan.
been
So,
really good. The other thing that I found super funny, uh, there are two teams in the NHL that do not. This is obviously maybe before any injuries, but that do not have anybody playing in the tournament. One of them is San Jose. They are the worst team by percentage
okay,
points.
that's right.
And
Yep.
the other one is Washington, who happen to be the best team by percentage.
Wow. Wow. They got some Russians on that team.
Yeah, yeah, Russians, and like I said, I think they've overachieved a little bit, but I just thought that was super funny. So, great stuff. I think last I checked, it was 1-1 between intermission. The U.S. game right now, so obviously for them, this is a must win if you're playing the probably the weakest team
Right.
most considered. So. We will keep tuning in as we do the podcast for the for this tournament and check in and see how it goes. I think obviously a lot of people will be tuning in for that U.S. game.
Yeah, let's talk
Uh,
something more dear to my heart, and that's golf.
yeah,
We had the waste management tournament. To me, I consider that the first real when I start getting interested in watching golf again for the season. So that was this past weekend. And did you have any interest in watching? Did you tune in at all?
I didn't really tune into that one. I was I'm a little more did some research and looked into this week for the Genesis
Genesis.
Invitational.
Yeah.
I know you obviously went to the waste management
Yes, I
before.
had the. I was lucky enough to play it last year, so I was really tuning in. You know, I'd be like hole 12. I'm like, oh, tripled that hole, or I actually got a par on that hole. So it was a different experience watching it when you've actually played the course.
I mean, let's be honest, you probably didn't have a lot of pars.
Uh, no, it wasn't my best day I've ever had on the golf course, but I had a lot of fun, and I had a couple drinks that were about $40 a piece, and what a day!
Yeah, well, that's always a great time.
Yeah,
Um, as far as golf here, I mean, I know I used to be really into golf, and I know we talked a little bit about this, but before we got on here, um, I think golf. I think the PGA they need to have somebody step up a little bit. I mean, they've lost a number of people to the Live Tour, which I know you got some stats about the numbers, but
right.
I mean, my opinion of the Live Tour is not great, but they do have names that people want to see and want to watch. Or
I don't know if they want to see them because they can see them. They can watch them anytime they want. They're on the CW. I don't
what
know if it's
on
CW.
for real? I mean, where do you get the CW?
Well, I know no one has cable anymore, so that's a good question. But it's on Channel 8 on Verizon. if you want to really tune in and
All right.
find the Live Tour. But I've tuned into Live Tour. It's I don't care how great these golfers are. It's unwatchable. You got listen. I'm in a golf cart playing with my boys. We got rap music, rock music playing in the in the cart. It's awesome. But on TV, it's terrible. They got no one understands what's going on with the teams. No one understands what's going on with the 3 day tournaments, and it's very confusing. I think people, I don't know. I don't know if this is true. If it's just that they left and the Saudis bought all these players, but and people just don't want to watch because of that reason. But viewership just for this past weekend, we'll give an example. For the Waste Management, it's 52,000 watched the Live. 52,000. It's West Seneca.
I
No one.
I mean, I feel like I've golfed in front of 52,000
Right.
before.
No one is watching. And I
Maybe-
disagree with you on the star power of the tour. Scotty is obviously just a force. He's dominating. Is it a problem? I don't know. People like when there's somebody to beat, but he's got a personality issue where he's kind of boring. But I do think there's names on this tour. I mean, you got Scheffler, Schauffele, Rory, Morikawa.
yeah.
Ludwig Aberg is a nice young player. There's Clark, Hovland, Justin Thomas is still relevant. I just think there are names. Yes, there are. There's not the star power names as in the Live, but I still tune in. I still enjoy it. I think the broadcast is still so much better to watch. So
Well, I've tuned in to Live like twice, right? I had to like actively find it, right? Like if one of it
yeah,
was
you have
like
to look for it.
the second or third one, and I was on some YouTube channel, and like it's terrible. So I don't know if it's the names or if it's the personalities. I just think golf would. Scotty Scheffler entered 19 tournaments last year. He won 7 of them. That's insane. And I know, back in the day when we were younger, Tiger had a run like that. Although I feel there were other people that were competing with him. But he also has he just has swag. He just has something special that people want to tune in for. And like, I don't know. For golf for me, I mean, again, I still tune into the majors or if I'll throw a bet in or something here and there.
Right.
But I don't know. I would like to see. I don't know if it's the personalities that maybe aren't quite there. I really don't. I mean, the Live Tour, that's just got to be all Saudi money.
Yes. And my other thing with the Live Tour is that they have not. I just think it's crumbling, and I think we'll see this in a couple of years once these contracts start wearing out. That it's just they're not going to go back. Liv hasn't bought any more players in the last year that I know of, so I just think they're going to play it out, and I don't think these stars over there are enjoying the lack of attention. I mean, most of these guys are huge stars. Usually, huge stars come with a big ego.
Yeah.
They want to be seen, and no one cares. They're playing in front of no one. They're being seen by no one. And yes, they're making a guaranteed 250. I'm not going to cry over, what's going on for them. They took the money, and I'm sure they're just happy. But I think once these contracts run out, I'd be surprised if we see Liv just go away. And I think it'd be great for golf. I mean, to get everybody back together and playing these tournaments instead of just the majors. But we will see.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like it has to. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know how much money they have, but I mean, it seems crazy. Those numbers are absolutely ridiculous. But
yeah,
I'd like to see a couple. So I had said Scotty won 7 out of 19 tour events last year that he entered. Right. The most anybody else won was 2 events.
Right.
There were multiple people that won twice, but I think they need. I think it would be good for golf if they can get 2 or 3 guys to step up. Obviously, McElroy is a huge name, right? And
Right. He's
anytime
getting up there. He's getting up there. I
he
think
could battle.
This Aberg's going to have he's a really good young talent, and Wyndham Clark has shown signs. Those are two younger talent guys. Um, yeah. So
Yeah, Aberg was one of that, or Oberg, however you say it. I
yeah,
don't know how
yeah,
you're saying it.
right.
He's one of the guys that I read about possibly having a really nice weekend here. I believe he was +2 today, but they said he can really he hits it a mile, and with the
Right.
rough being what it is, if he could stay out of the rough, that distance will help him out. So
Right.
I guess I saw there's Scotty's not winning right now, but it seems like he's always poking around, and
Yeah.
I think there's a couple guys. You said Shoffley, if he had a whole bunch of, I think he had like 15 top tens last year.
Right.
If
He
he can
finally
turn it,
broke through last year, so maybe he can compete.
sure. If he
better.
pokes a couple more in and they become wins, wins or top threes or something, that it's probably good for it. But
Right.
yeah, I miss having all the big names together. But
I agree.
with that said, I think the PGA Tour, like a lot of these things, I was looking at the like the total payouts, like how much they pay out, like
Right.
overall, and I do think there was a time where the PGA Tour was kind of taking advantage of the fact that they were the only thing in town.
Agreed.
And,
Yep.
And they were like, their payouts were, weren't great relative to what they were bringing in revenue. And then all of a sudden, there's something fresh, new, and sexy, and
competition, and they increased the purse sizes almost instantly.
yeah, pretty quick, right?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, like really fast, and like I don't know. There's a part of me that's almost glad that it happened. It's like, if you're gonna, again, I'm not crying for the guys that were winning tournaments back in the day. They were still making a lot of money to play golf, but
Right.
If you're bringing in $200-300 million in revenue and you're paying out a small percentage, then you're not treating those guys properly. So
Right. Well, we'll talk more golf once the Masters comes around. It's always really the start of the season. But
we're gonna have to do some little
Masters wager.
Ryder Cup preview since we're going.
Oh, of course, yeah. I thought you were talking about maybe a Masters wager. I don't know.
Absolutely, we'll definitely. I'll I'm never turning a wager down.
Right.
Unless,
we'll figure something out.
Unless it's not good for me.
Right.
So, all right, segment 3. Got a couple of people that wanted to talk about this. Obviously, this one's super close to you, and that's all the stuff going on with James Cook, running back of the Buffalo Bills. Doing the old I'm going to take you off of my Twitter, and
he's off all
X, and I'm going to put up some numbers and say all of this. All the people that talk to me know how I go. I mean, listen, this could be. I would love to be a GM for some of these teams. I might cost them every single player they got, but my opinion for James Cook, you are a really, really good player.
Right.
You're a running back, and
that's a problem.
That's a problem. And we're a team that we haven't won a Super Bowl, right? We want to win. Obviously, you should get paid more than what you're going to be getting paid, and there's a market value for it. But to me, any guy that cares about winning, if you care about winning, then you should not be coming in asking to be like, I'm the highest paid guy. I just, because if people do that, then that means other parts of the team are going to have to suffer. So, James Cook, like for me, I'll offer him a fair deal. Obviously, you can't offer him $3 million when someone else is going to pay him 13. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's tough. These running backs get one time to get a max deal, so I understand. Maybe he's just coming out there asking for 15, knowing that's just a number he's throwing out there to negotiate lower, and he'll be happy with 13. I'm not paying a running back $15 million. If it was me. Now the league has turned. We saw this year it was a huge influx of running backs having huge numbers and being key parts of their team, and Cook was one of those. But for $15 million, again, they just went out and signed drafted Ray Davis. Is he Cook? No, he hasn't gotten a fair shake to say he's not. But no, he's probably not Cook. But at I probably makes, I don't know, 500, 600,000.
Yeah, yeah,
It's,
yeah.
is that a value that I'm willing to take a risk on? Yes, it is. I just I they're not disposable players, running backs, but I think 10 to 12, that's where I'd be comfortable paying them, and that's over 3 years. Um, I just don't know if that's what the Bills are going to do. I don't know. He's still under contract for one more year.
Yeah,
Now he
and
says
I
he'll
mean,
hold out, but
you,
let him hold out.
you do know. I mean, you do know the cap's going up pretty
Right,
well in the next couple of years. So, like, for me, maybe if I could structure it in a way that maybe he gets 14 or 14 and a half 3 years down the road, or even
right,
4. I mean, he is still 25. Um, I think he's kind of a fresh 25, right? Like, he hasn't
right.
had huge
No, he doesn't
huge
get a ton of touches.
workloads. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
He hasn't had like those Christian McCaffrey, Henry 300 touches in a season type workloads.
Right.
So, can I offer him 4 years? And like I said, maybe, we're coming in at 12 and a half and it escalates to 14 or 14 and a half in year 4.
Right.
Sure. Is he
They're
getting,
gonna
could
now.
he?
Allen's contract's going to be redone this year, so that's another thing. So the he's probably going to be not this year, but maybe down the line he's going to be making 60, 65 million a year. That's
I
just
mean,
going to be the number.
I've said the same thing with I'm sorry. In my opinion, if Josh Allen wants to win, if he really wants to win, and he seems, listen, of all the football players in the NFL, he may be what I seem to be the most like. He just seems super genuine to who he really is in the
Right.
interviews and his feelings towards the city. And again, I mean, I don't know. It's easy for me. I'm sitting here in my basement doing a podcast. I'm not
Right.
turning down $10 million, but can Josh Allen sign 5 or 6 more years for $55 million? And then if your leader's taking a 10% discount, can you then ask other guys to take the 10%? And you know what? They have every right to say no. They have
Right.
every right to say, nope, I'm going to go get top value. And you know what? Go ahead. Go over to Cleveland and wherever you're going to get top money. You have the right to go there. But I don't know. I just I think the way to win in the NFL is it's helpful when you have those quarterbacks on small contracts.
Right.
Obviously, it's not going to be that small for Josh, and you can't give up on a guy that just won MVP that's that good at that position. But I'm
Now
pretty
everybody
sure
says that
you can live in Western New York on $55 million a year,
right.
guaranteed money. Because I mean, again, I'm guaranteeing the money to him. I mean, he's young, he's incredible. So,
Yeah, I keep
um,
hearing about it. So much easier to win on these rookie contracts for quarterbacks. Yet, if you look at the Super Bowl and you look at the NFC, I mean, Daniels would be the exception. A lot of high paid quarterbacks, a lot of top quarterbacks. You know,
yeah, no, and I agree, but I think there's some teams in the NFL that are just in really bad shape because of they're paying their I don't know if you want to call it caving in, but I mean, Dak
Murray
Prescott
would be the one. Murray's the one that stands out to me, where he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to play," and they gave him big money, and the guy never did anything to deserve it. He's one example, I guess.
I
But
mean, Prescott makes top
Prescott
flight
is another
money,
one.
and although he's good, I dread that contract. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he's got all the skills, right? But
Right?
again, I mean, I don't know what I've seen to feel comfortable with him making that much money, and now I got to build around you, and you're taking 15 to 20% of the salary cap. You know what I
See,
mean?
I don't know if you saw the news about Trevor Lawrence and the Steelers talking about maybe a possible little trade,
No, I did not.
a little rumor, little rumor.
That's it.
I think Trevor
Interesting.
Lawrence is terrible, but he is better than anything that uh, the Steelers have had in a while. That's a different topic. We'll stick on Cook. Um, uh, yeah, if it's me, I think I offer him 12. I don't offer him anything this year. He's under contract, unless you really want to renegotiate and I would do it the opposite that you said. I would give him more this year and wean it off, and then we can go from there. But
Yeah, I mean, if your cap allows it, right? If your cap
right,
allows it,
I think we do have a little bit more cap. We're a little bit more cap friendly this year and next year. This is all by design because the stadium's opening up in 2026. They're going to have a ton of money available unless they go out and get a bunch of free agents this year. They should have a good amount of money available the next 2 years. So
yeah, I think in the NFL there's some teams that are so good with the cap and managing it, and then there's some other ones that just seem to really struggle. I mean, the Saints every year are like so far over the salary cap, and I'm like, who are you paying? Like, I don't even know who you're paying.
right, I hear you.
so
All
so
right.
yeah, I don't. Another small thing about Cook, I don't the whole taking you off my Twitter and stuff.
It's
That just bothers me.
it bothers me too. It
It's
really
like,
does.
come
It's
on,
like
man. Are we 6 years old, right?
it's so childish. You're still what is it? Oh, he's what do you think Bean's doing? Oh, he dropped our Twitter account. Uh,
Yeah.
oh, I guess we just gotta get rid of him or just pay him
I
because
guess we just got like honestly, just get your eight. Like
yeah, just have
honestly,
your
I would
agent
like
take
just
care of
text them and be like, why don't you just get your agent and walk down and let's just talk, right?
it. I saw him. I saw even Cook messaging on X like just basic fans and somebody like a fan saying, "Oh, I think Cook's worth 15 million," and he's replying, "Yes, like 100%." Like, dude,
Right.
this guy's just giving his opinion just like we are. It means nothing. Uh,
Yeah, I know. It's
but yeah,
childish. It's the
removing
off
everything
season.
off your socials that has anything to do with Buffalo is a childish move, and I don't know what they think they're going to get from it. If just Bean's going to be like, "Oh my god, I guess
I
we
know,
lost them."
as if nobody in the organization knows
Right,
that, like, hey, this contract situation's coming up, right? Like, I've never understood it, but
right.
I don't know. It is what it is. And I've been a huge Cook fan. I mean, this is like I had a bunch of them in fantasy this year. I had a bunch of them
I have
last
too.
year. Bunch of them last year because I just felt like he just didn't get a lot of touches or enough touches, and he finally did this year. Um, I think he's a big part of what the like. I think he's a really good player, but like I said, I just if you get in the habit of paying multiple guys on your team top money,
Yeah,
especially at not prime positions,
right.
I I don't think it's great. So
I
you
agree.
know, again, maybe it's just posturing and they could work something out 12 to 13. I mean, that's a lot of money in Western New York. And, you're right. The running backs, you really only get one crack at it, right? After
Right.
your
I
rookie.
don't blame. I don't blame a running back. They're never going to get a second contract. Almost never. Uh,
Yeah.
so I don't blame them. And maybe it's just a ploy to. I'm going to say 15 to get 13 or 12. But yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting what they do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to move on
Uh,
to a non-sports topic.
you want to do that or you want to do the bets?
Ugh. Yeah, we can talk about bets.
Let's do let's do some bets. Tommy.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're tuning into this podcast, you could get rich.
Yeah. It's true.
All what do you have to do?
You got to fade.
Just fade
Listen.
Tom.
Yeah.
Tom came at us with Warriors minus 6.5.
No. It was -5. Let's get it right.
All right.
It was -5. The
Okay.
line moved to -6.5, which is usually, good. Something's going on. I mean, the Mavs had, I don't know, 8 of their starters out, or 8 players out, I think. and it was never close. They were down one at the end of first, down one at the end of this, and then Kyrie goes off and the game's kind of a blowout. I mean, you can't lose that game.
I mean, they wound up keeping it kind of close, but they can never take the lead.
No, they never could take the lead.
Never take the lead and never overcome it. So it finished Mavs 111, Warriors 107. That drops Tommy to 0-4. I mean, he's trying to get on the win train here.
Right.
I had Bill
skunk at the garden party, and you smelled it. You smelled that skunk.
I had Villanova plus 3.5. I did say that I think I said that I almost liked them for an outright win. I was talking about how anytime in college I see that ranked team on the road and the line doesn't make a lot of sense to me, that you got to have big guts, right? You got to have the balls to do it, but go the opposite way. That was the case from here. Villanova, when I first tuned in, Villanova was up by 6 or 7 in the first half. I know it got pretty close, I think, at halftime, and then in the end it was close. In fact, I tuned in to watch the end. St. John scored with like a couple seconds left to take the 1-point lead. Villanova was getting the ball back, but at that point, I mean, my bet was covered, which is all I kind of really cared about. But Villanova wound up hitting the shot, and they wound up winning. So I covered there. That puts me at 2-2, and carrying a little bit of momentum.
Right, it's all about the mo. That's
yeah.
Right. All right, what do you like? So, what do you like? Give me a couple.
So I got 2 bets that I'm going. One of them's probably more of a homer hard pick, but Saturday I'll take USA money line over Canada for hockey. It's who I want to win. I think the teams are pretty evenly matched up. Superstars all over the place, speed all over the place. But if it's going to come down to Binnington versus Hellebuck and net, I'm going to take USA's goalie all the time. So maybe a little bit of a homer. I'm guessing it's probably got to be super close to even money, but I'll take USA there because I'm rooting for them, and I like the goaltending. Second one that I got is college basketball. Hawaii versus Long Beach State.
Oh yeah. That's good.
Hawaii is minus 11.5. They are at home. I love home basketball teams. I do love the fact that it's in Hawaii. Teams have to travel. And that flight, I mean, I think any travel for college kids is probably tougher. But, that flight out there is long, and I don't know how early they get out there, but even unless they're out there a week early, I think that's tough travel. So I'll take the home team. I will lay 11.5 versus a not outstanding Long Beach State. I'll just be nice.
That sounds good. I like that. Listen, I got to go back to my roots of betting just bad games, kind of like a Long Beach State games. I'm going to take Green Bay getting 7.5 at home versus Northern Kentucky. I just like it. I don't have any great information on the game except I like it. And another home game, St. Peter's versus Fairfield. Fairfield, the Stags of Fairfield are heading to the Peacocks, and they're giving 4.5. But I like it. I like St. Peter's. I've watched them. They got some big players. I think the 4.5 is good. And those are the two I'm going to go with.
The St. Peter's is home?
St. Peter's is a home game.
All right, so I'm going to go on the record and say you are absolutely at a minimum splitting these.
Thank you.
You got two home college basketball teams.
Right.
absolutely splitting them without even looking at the details of it. I like the St. Peter's too. 4.5. I like betting college basketball teams when the spread is relatively small. I like that. I've had some pretty good runs doing that. So
We gotta get off tonight here.
I think you're going to pick up a win.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
If you go to 0-6, I mean, I might have to start fading you.
You're right.
We might do a podcast every day just so I can
win.
Just so I can get your picks to fade them.
All right, I like it. These games are tomorrow night, just so everybody, so those people who are betting it, that they're tomorrow night.
Yeah. So if you're trying to win money off Tom, we get them in tomorrow.
Get them in.
All right. Last segment is a non-sports segment. I've been kind of, I introduced this to Tom the other day, and I have been. I mean, I feel like everywhere I go, I'm seeing things that I'm starting to think about. So. We are going to do a segment called Underrated, where we talk about some stuff that we think is underrated in, I don't know, in our lives and life and just in general. So, I'll start off with one.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm going to start off with something that I use every single day. And that is GPS.
I
think GPS is just. I don't think it gets enough credit for how unbelievable it is.
No, it's one of the greatest inventions of our lifetime.
I always say I do think it may be the greatest. I don't know. Cell phones are pretty remarkable that it's that small, but like GPS, I could be sitting upstairs with like a slice of pizza and potato chips on my couch, right? Just total slob, watching a sports game, and I just pick up my phone and I just tell it like, send me to this address, and in 45 seconds I'm driving to California. Every turn is there.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's just crazy. I'm just like, I want to go to my buddy's house. He lives in California here. I'm going to do absolutely nothing. I'm just going to sit on the couch and say it. And it just knows everything. It's remarkable. It is absolutely unbelievable. I tell people I use it all the time, even when I don't need it. I use it. If it told me to drive off a cliff, I'd probably just do it. I'd probably just
go
right
off. Whatever that girl's saying, you got to do. I'm 100% on this one. I've said I cannot. It's one of the best inventions of our lifetime, because we remember going on a trip with a map, and heavens forbid you had to get off that little highlighted line that they gave you, and now you got to figure out how to get back on a throughway or off a road. It was a nightmare, and you're 100% right.
It's just wild. You're just driving and you're like, oh my God, I feel like
take it for granted.
I feel like Taco Bell at a stop, boom, Taco Bell. It's just crazy. So
I hear you. I got a sports one, and then I got a non-sports one. What would you like to hear first?
Go non-sports.
Non-sports? Listen, this comes mostly because I tailgate all the time. I've been tailgating my whole life.
Yeah.
Cooking with charcoal, it's 1,000 times better than propane.
Oh, we're gonna butt heads.
No, you're so wrong. Hey, listen, you want quick and food just tastes like shit, cook with propane. I get it. You want a burger that has a nice crust on each side, because those charcoals are nice and the embers are just glowing, and they get that crust on that burger, and then you flip it once and you get the other crust, and you get the smoke and the taste of everything. It's unbelievable. I want to hear your take the opposite way here, because I don't understand how anybody.
All right, well, I got two things. So one, are you the person doing the cooking?
Am I doing the cooking? No, but I know how to use a charcoal grill. I mean, I've done it before.
All right, but
when we go camping or something like that, I'll get the grill going. I get the nice pyramid.
All right, so you're doing all the prep work, is what I'm saying. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It takes a little longer to get going.
Yeah.
But once the charcoals are nice and hot, listen, it cooks instantly. It's so hot. Everything cooks real fast.
So I'll say this. If someone's going to do it for me,
Right.
then I guess I'm down with it. I mean, again, I'll probably eat it. I don't care how you cook it, really.
Right.
But I can't knock it or say anything about it there. But as far as me actually putting that extra work in, I'm probably not going to do it.
Right.
But you've also seen me at tailgates. I'm not interested in
No.
any of the how it's getting cooked. I mean, you could probably not
cooked.
even cook it and just hand it to
Listen,
me.
if it's cooked, I can see you, just taking a bite.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
all right. So as far as flavor and all of that stuff, and listen, I will say this: I know a ton of people that are completely on your side, all
Right.
about it. That's a good one. That's a good one. My next one, underrated. And I've every year I get older, for some reason I get a little more, I like it a little more. I'm going French toast for underrated.
French toast.
I feel like a lot of love comes to pancakes and waffles. You have the big waffle maker at all the hotels and all of that people love. And I'm not against waffles and I'm not against pancakes. I like them, but like a nice thick good French toast with some whipped cream. Oh man, it is. Most of the time, if I'm going out to breakfast now and I have those choices, I'm going French toast, and I very rarely regret that choice.
No, I agree with you. I would be a French toast. That would be my choice as well. I don't know about this whipped cream. I don't know if you need that, but I
Put
agree.
it on it, just syrup.
Yeah, just syrup. I don't need butter or anything. Just syrup.
Just oh man, okay. I don't know. I could probably not have the whipped cream. I am putting butter on there. Come on now.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't. You don't get to be overweight like myself without having butter. So
yeah, I get
butter.
it. I get it.
All right. What else you got?
I got my sports one, and this will go back to golf. Fall golf. Fall golf is underrated. Listen, everybody gets excited. March, April hits. Everybody wants to get out there. We haven't golfed in forever, and it's wet. It sucks. As not a guy who can crush a ball, it plays long, but I'm excited to be out there. And then you got the summer, and it's awesome. And then as soon as September hits, people go back. Kids are going back to school. Football starts. It seems like we have such a short season here in the Northeast that people seem to just, all right, I've golfed my summer and I'm done. You could play till November, and the courses are perfect. There's way less people out there. It's cheaper, and yet it seems like everybody just is done with golf at the end of the summer, at the end of August, and I think they're dumb for doing so. And I appreciate it because it's, I can get out there and play actually a round in under 4 hours, but fall golf is underrated.
That's an outstanding one. And I'll be honest, because of, I don't know if it's because of coaching or school starts back up, but
Right.
I am one that usually at the end of August, that's usually the end of it. I do get out every now and then. I will get out in the fall, and I do see everything that you're saying. You're like,
everything's perfect.
Yeah, I mean it's not wet. Like
no, it's dry. That's the driest time of the year.
April and May is like you're so excited to get out there, and you're like,
I get it.
They're almost always terrible. But in the fall, it's not wet, and you're not melting, right? Like you can dress comfortably,
right?
Pretty much whenever you get out, those are all valid points. Maybe I'll try and make a point of getting out there a little bit more.
Yeah, you got to get out. Fall golf is the best. I just don't get why people just give it up. It's really like a 5-month season here. Let's not cut it even shorter than it needs to be. Fall golf is awesome. It's the driest time of the year, and everything's usually in tip-top shape as far as these courses around here, and it's cheaper and it's less busy. I mean, how can you beat it?
I love it. I love it. So, all right, we're all set. I'll be honest. I had a whole bunch of other ones. I could just keep going.
Yeah,
I started to think about it. I was like, man, this thing's like I'm going through the day and I do something. I'm like, this thing could be underrated, right? And then I'm like, all right. So
we got to do an overrated too, because
we'll get an overrated next week.
Not overrated.
And then, like I said, we'll probably have to do another underrated in like a month because I
Yeah.
know I'm going to have more. Then I'm going to have to get out there for the world to hear.
All right.
So, want to thank everybody for listening. Episode 4. Remember, however you listen to your podcast, tune in. We are on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Got a Facebook page, a Twitter X page. So hope you guys tune in, and please subscribe, share with some family and friends, and let's go USA. I'm trying to see right now.
Yeah, America.
2-1 USA.
Nice.
All right.
All right, buddy.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. See you soon.
See ya.